With the gradual change in the global military balance, the eyes of the foreign media have recently been frequently focused on the rapidly developing Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy. One fact that cannot be ignored is that the Chinese Navy is building new warships at an ever-increasing pace. On the network, for the 052E type destroyer legend has never ceased. Even in the 055 type destroyer has been built in the case of 12, but the outside world for the displacement of 9,000 tons of 052E type destroyers' voice is still very high, and even an expert said, the vertical hair system is comparable to the missile rain. So, the displacement of 9,000 tons of destroyers for the Chinese Navy in the end, whether they need it? With the continuous progress of the times and the rapid development of technology, maritime combat requirements are also constantly improving. In the current complex and changing maritime security environment, the PLA Navy needs to have a more powerful and more flexible ship equipment to effectively deal with a variety of negative impacts and challenges. Therefore, for the displacement of 9,000 tons of destroyer demand, there is still an urgent need. First of all, it has more space on board, which enables it to carry more weapons and advanced equipment, greatly enhancing its combat capability and comprehensive strength. This increase in equipment not only provides stronger fire support, but also expands the diversity of its combat capabilities, making the destroyer more flexible and versatile in carrying out a variety of tasks. Secondly, they are relatively strong in terms of speed, range, and carrier escort capability. With higher speed and longer range, the destroyer can arrive at the combat area more quickly and continue to perform tasks at sea, thus enhancing the sense of presence and staying power at sea. At the same time as a carrier frigate, displacement of 9,000 tons of destroyers can provide strong escort and defense for the carrier to protect the safety of the carrier fleet. In addition, it also has stronger anti-hit ability and survivability. Its powerful hull design and armor protection can effectively resist attacks from the enemy, improve the survivability of the ship in the fierce battlefield environment and extreme weather conditions, and safeguard the safety of the crew and equipment. For the PLA Navy, the construction of destroyers with a displacement of 9,000 tons does have important strategic significance and practical value. At this time, there may be some netizens for the displacement of 9,000 tons, and is not clear what kind of a concept? Then on this issue, let's analyze. For the large displacement destroyer, we'll have a more powerful endurance as well as the ability to see activities, because of which can carry more fuel and supplies, so that in the sea action we'll have a longer time to continue to carry out the task, do not need to frequently return to the port to replenish, thus enhancing the combat continuity and flexibility. Large displacement also means that the destroyer can carry more weapons and advanced equipment, including various types of missiles, anti-ship missiles, anti-aircraft missiles, anti-submarine weapons. This can make it in the sea combat has more powerful fire support, as well as the ability to strike. At the same time, the weapons and equipment carried in the destroyer can also cover a wider range of combat, not only for striking, but also for defense. Overall, the destroyer with a displacement of 9,000 tons not only has a stronger ability to operate at sea and endurance, but also has more powerful fire support and strike capability. When we understand the 9,000 tons displacement, at this time also cannot ignore another point, which is the importance of the pitot tube system. As one of the important equipment of modern warships, the vertical launch system has a particularly important position in the destroyer. It refers to the ship's vertical launchers, capable of carrying and launching a variety of missiles and anti-ship missiles. Compared with the traditional horizontal launchers, the vertical launch system has faster launching speed, more flexible operational deployment, and wider range coverage, the importance of which is reflected as follows. The first aspect, it enables the destroyer to rapidly and massively launch missiles in combat to form a powerful fire suppression and strike capability. This means the destroyer can release a large number of missiles in a short period of time to carry out powerful suppression of enemy ships and aircraft, thus effectively controlling the situation on the battlefield. The second aspect, the flexibility of which allows the destroyer will be more diverse in combat deployment. As missiles can be launched vertically, The destroyer can strike targets at different angles and distances, greatly increasing its operational flexibility and battlefield adaptability. Advantage in this aspect means that it can be better adapted to different operational environments and mission requirements. Third aspect. The high-range coverage of the vertical launch system also provides a wider combat space for the destroyer. The destroyer can utilize the pendants tube system to strike enemy targets, including shore-based facilities and ground targets, at long range, expanding its operational range and combat capability. This makes the destroyer can not only carry out naval combat at sea, but also carry out long-range precision strikes against land targets, improving its overall combat capability and strategic value. So for the outside world said, vertical hair system is comparable to the missile rain, meaning destroyers have the ability to launch missiles quickly and in large scale, greatly enhancing their combat suppression and strike capability. For the PLA Navy, the equipment of the pendants system will become an important weapon in its maritime operations to enhance its combat strength and strategic influence in the complex maritime environment. In short, for the displacement of 9,000 tons, as well as the pendants system is comparable to the missile rain.So destroyer. It does mean it has a strong fire support and strike capability, is the PLA Navy to enhance combat strength and deal with the complex maritime security environment of an important weapon.